G'day guys, welcome back to another episode of The Casual Athlete. Today we're coming at you with something a little bit different, Longy? We've got a logo rating system. Now we're going through the tier list here, and Longy, we've got a couple of exciting logos to go through. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I've got some favorites and some I don't like so much in this list. And the first one, the Tigers, we've got the old one and the new one there too. So it'll be interesting to sort of break them down. Do you want to go through quickly the tiers there before we jump right in?
Yeah, absolutely. So at the top there in red, we've got our top tier. Now these are the elite club logos in our NRL competition, and some around the league you might see as well. Iconic, some recognizable and quite strong logos that we appreciate. Good, meaning not so bad, not so good, but they're kind of in the middle. Average, probably could use a touch up. It's been around for a while. And then we've also got our dog tier Barnett's elbow. How'd you like that on the weekend, Longy?
It's pretty self-explanatory what we're saying about those logos. So 6 to 8 weeks
all right.
on the sideline.
Give him a stiff one, mate. Give him a stiff one.
Oh,
all right.
poor guy.
So, definitely. So what do we got up first? We've got the Tigers logo here.
Yeah, I mean, this one's pretty topical. So if we just hop down here, we've got the new logo and the old logo. I love the old logo. Like when I look at the old logo, all I see is 05. Benji Marshall, Paddy Richards, Farah in his prime. That's like a lot of positive memories with that logo. Whereas when I look at the new one, I don't know. I mean, like it might not even be anything against the logo, but you don't come out with a new brand when you're such a shit team. Like,
I do agree. Yeah, it's the kind of new logo. Funnily enough, is a bit representative of the club that it is at the moment. The new logo is just the old logo, but a little bit thicker in the face. The tiger almost looks fatter, maybe meaning slower. I don't know. But yeah, the old logo really got my juices flowing. Flick passes galore. I was a big fan of Scotty Prince back in the day too, so it really gets my juices flowing. But that Tigers logo, where you thinking of putting that, mate?
Look, I mean, the old one, I think iconic.
Yeah, it's absolutely.
Yeah,
I agree with that. Not quite top tier, but we're going to have to give its dues. They won a comp with that logo as well, and it's right after the club got rebranded too, and they switched to that logo, so you got to give it.
And the old one. Do we have our first Barnett's elbow of the day?
Why don't we put it in average for the moment? I think there could be some worse logos out there, but average is kind of, and if it doesn't come in, we can put it down if we want to.
All right, we'll place it in average for now. I'm going to be thinking about this for a while though. All right, Brisbane Broncos next. Any opinions on that one?
Yeah, the Broncos, they've got strong colours. I love them maroon and gold colours. That I've never seen a horse look so menacing before. To tell you the truth, not the biggest fan of their play on the weekend, but my Cowboys got over them. It's all good. But as far as that logo goes, it's a pretty solid logo, and they've won quite a fair few comps and been a very relevant team with it. So I'm going to have to push it up towards the stronger tiers, if you know what I mean.
See, I think a lot of what you're saying there is that they're an iconic club, that they have great history, that they have a lot of success. If we isolate that though, we take that out, we take all their success out and just look at the logo. Yellow text on a white background, it looks good in a jersey, but just by itself there, it's lacking a bit for me. Especially when you got the Roosters after it, such a clearly defined logo for someone like me who likes that precision. I'm probably thinking...
What you're saying is your OCD is getting in the way.
There's a little bit of that. I like a nice outline. And we'll get to some of the others. But I would lean good. But if you're thinking top tier or iconic, I could be swayed.
No, I think good is where it should sit. I'm going to have to leave it there for the moment, just because it hasn't gotten much of a a good rap in recent years, the club specifically. But you know, hopefully they're on the way up, and hopefully I can pay for maybe a bit of a touch up on some text, or maybe make that yellow a bit brighter for you.
Yeah, I mean, they could finish it off eventually when they get the time. Chookies, big fan of this logo. There's just a lot going on in this logo. It's all very clearly defined. It's kind of like how they play on the weekend. You know, if Trent Robinson was designing logos in the graphic design room at the Roosters, he probably would have done something like this. So I'm a big fan of this one. Do you have any opinions on it?
My only opinion would be is that rooster looks like it's ready to get into a cockfight. You know, it's looking mean, as mean as you can make a rooster look, to be fair. And it's pretty representative of the old club colours, the blue, the white, and red. You know, they kind of put a stamp on that. They own that. But no, I do think it's easily recognisable, and they've got a good deal of premierships with that logo on as well. So can't knock them.
Do we say top tier? I like it for top tier.
Is it better than the West Tigers one?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, the Tigers one. If the Tigers still had that logo, and we were in 2005.
True.
You know, I was at school waiting for my Super Duper at the canteen. I'd be saying Tigers top tier for sure. But because they've scrapped it, that moved it down one tier.
Yep.
Are you willing to go with me on this one? Roosters top tier?
Chuck it in there, mate. I'm not sure
right.
it'll finish as the best logo down here, but you know, we've got a fair way to go. Next up, their cross-town rivals, the menacing Bunnies. Got their measure on the weekend, but looking at that logo, I just think, is it Easter? Or Christmas? I don't know. The red and green, the bunny. I feel like they're playing with my my holidays. You know, I'm having a holiday identity crisis, mate. Can you help me out?
Well, if it was Christmas, they'd be asking for one thing, and that's Adam Reynolds. So, yeah, and the lack of Adam Reynolds in this logo too. It's pretty indicative. I mean, yeah, they're having a bit of a bad time right now. The logo, I mean, I'm leaning two ways. It's a bit blurry almost. Like when you look at it, like it's not very, not the logo itself, but yeah, like, you know, green against red, and it's a bit soft in terms of the colors, but it is so iconic. And you can imagine that one on a cotton jersey. You know, your nan's rocking up, you know, cotton Bunnies jersey. She's just finished crying from the grand final they won, 10 years back, and it's pretty iconic.
Let's say when you look at it, you think of all the people that have played for that club. It's a origin club. They've been around since the start of rugby league. So yeah, you've really got to put it up to the iconic tier, just because everyone knows what they are.
I think we stick with that then. Iconic,
not quite edgy enough for me though to make top tier. No,
it's not. It doesn't say enough. I agree. Next one, the Panthers. It's obviously a very successful club, but the logo itself, I mean, how do you feel when you look at that one?
I like the old Panthers logo. You know, it's kind of similar to the new West Tigers one, but I think that the history of the Panther and the Blue Mountains out there means a lot to the people from out west. But I'm not too sure where they're going with this logo. It's kind of just a blue and black panther, like with Panthers written under it. When they wear pink quite a lot as well. So the Pink Panthers.
So you're going to be writing in after this, change your logo, make it pink?
No, I'm not. But I think it's good enough to not be alongside that putrid new West Tigers logo.
Is that just an indication that maybe we have that Tigers one too high? Because I'm looking at this Panthers logo and the text and the picture, they feel like different drawings to me.
Yeah.
Like, it's not horrible, but I think it's an average an average logo.
It's almost like the writing of Panthers is really cool, and then the Panther is kind of not that cool.
So the Panther's face is looking straight at us, but the body isn't. Like, it's just not
to be
very
fair,
photorealistic.
I've never seen a panther turn to the side as it's running forward. So
Yeah,
I'll go with you on that one. Yeah,
there's a 5-year plan. Focus up, boys. So do we go average then and downgrade the Tigers?
I reckon we put it in front of the Tigers one though, just because.
We'll leave that there for a little longer. West Tigers, you've survived another round. Right, Titans.
Yeah.
Titans. Recent rebrand. They went from a very detailed logo, a bit in that Roosters Tigers sort of category, to something that's a bit more simplistic. Probably better for a jersey, but to me, not as nice to look at just as a logo.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I really am a big fan of this new Titans rebrand. Just because their old one looked so cartoonish, and it was like you couldn't take them seriously. I mean, you kind of still can't take them seriously, but at least they're on every bit of merchandise now. You've got kids that actually want to buy Titans gear. They're looking a bit more positive. They've got some great young players, and I just think that this logo really has set in a change for the club, just from not being taken seriously to we want to be taken seriously, and this is the logo we're going with. And I'm a big fan. I quite like the yellow text on a navy background. The yellow eyes are really cool as well. I think the Titans text is a little too big. It's like, we get it. They're the Titans, I think. But
the S.
I still think it's good.
More too on the right there. It's a little bit not so symmetrical. Which you want. All right. I get what you're saying. I just can't take them seriously after they ruined so many of my multis after going up 22-0 on the weekend. So I kind of hate the Titans right now. But I'll go with you on this one. Are you saying that it's
good?
Good.
I think it's good, but not as good as the Broncos, perhaps.
Okay, so we've got it behind the Broncos there. I can cop good. Sharkies up next. Pretty fluid sort of logo. You got to really pay attention to the fine details in the text. That subtle off-white coloring. It's not a bad logo. I mean, where do you lean for this one? Which sort of category?
Yeah, kind of a lot of clubs go for that shield vibe. The Sharks have done a bit of a similar thing here, but it's not a full shield. It's got a nice turquoise colouring, which I like. Big fan of turquoise.
Hey?
Yeah,
we're really getting into
it. The writing of Sharks is pretty cool for me, and I just think Cronulla really stepped up their game from being a bit cartoonish as well in the past with certain logos, to really embodying a brand that has been successful for a number of years now. They seem to make the finals more often than not, and this is pretty representative of that logo, and I'm a big fan. It represents the water down at Cronulla. It's good.
I'll pay that. I do like it. I like Nico Hines right now as well. So are we going iconic for that one?
I think if we can put it into, is it as good as the Rabbitohs one? Like when you look at the Sharks iconic logo,
that's the problem. I think like the Rabbitohs one is just so, it's the bunnies.
Now you're saying that, do we think it's more iconic than the 05 Tigers logo?
I'm willing to slide that up. I'm willing to slide that up. They get a lot of benefit from the club history with that logo. Yeah. If they were a new club, if the Dolphins came in next year and they had this logo, I'd laugh at them. So they get a lot of benefit from that history. All right, let's jump into the Raiders here. So the Green Machine. What are you thinking?
Canberra. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Vikings, or Raiders, as they are known down in Canberra. Big fan of the Viking clap at games too. If you ever get the chance to go, I recommend going. Got up for a narrow win on the weekend, and I just think that helmet, the menacing look. We're a big fan of beards. We can tell, because we
might be.
I think we have to. I think we have to really push this one up into the good / iconic tier. I'm not sure where you'd want to put it.
So after the weekend, obviously they sneak past the Titans. I've probably got it ahead of the Broncos.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I don't know if I have it in that iconic sort of category.
Yep.
Just put it in there and see how it feels.
Just do it. Just do it. Put it in iconic.
All right,
It's
we're
iconic.
doing it. We're doing it. Like the Titans blowing a lead. Throw it in there. Doggies. Now, we've argued about this one before. I think it's a pretty good logo. You know, when they win a few games and score more than 12 points at some point, that'll be a logo that's, you know, revered and feared across the league. The big Burton step and fend. It's a good logo. It's a classic logo. It's nicely defined. It's a little shield. What do you reckon?
You're really pulling on the. I'm starting to find out that you like an outline on something.
Yep.
I think with the Dogs, I more associate their club with the logo of the early 2000s, which was just a blue V with a nice aggressive bulldog on it. I just think that this logo is just very. Any club could stick this on their shirt and say, you know, we're the Bulldogs. Like, it's just, it's more back to their traditional roots of what they used to do. But I just think that it's just not good enough. Like, I think they've got a new, like, bunch of players now. I think a time for a possible rebrand or new logo, it could be in the works. So I don't want to lean iconic on this because it is more reminiscent of the Dogs teams from the 80s and 90s. But I'm a big fan of early 2000s Bulldogs.
So for this one, we couldn't put it average. I think it's better than that.
It's better than average.
Back end are good, potentially.
Is it better than the Titans one for you?
A bit biased.
I know you don't. I shouldn't have asked you that question. You don't like the Titans.
I think it is. I'm going to slip it in there. I mean, they're both in that good category. You know, it's tough to split them. Your Cowboys. I kind of rate the horns, the star. You know, I rate the whole being good for a couple of years, then, you know, falling off the face of the rugby league world. I think the Cowboys do.
Hey, we got a really good win on the weekend, all right?
They look good.
Jeremiah Nanai is going to be a star.
Is he Origin eligible?
Queensland.
He's 18th man, like guaranteed this year. Potentially on the bench.
The forwards are slim, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Though, you get a guy like him in 18th man, get him learning. He's a freak. He plays a different position, but he kind of reminds me of Hodges with just the way he attacks every play and, you know, shuts things down and isn't afraid of making a mistake. Like that sort of energy, but in a different position. Yeah,
definitely. I think I love the star. It's very Dallas Cowboys-esque, and I think they may have ripped them off a little bit. But a big fan of North Queensland and what they've got going on at the moment. Cowboys logo's been iconic for years. That's been our logo for a long time. Really associated with a good period of the club, and I think it's iconic.
Oh,
maybe my bias is coming in.
I think that is. I've got it at the top end of good, personally.
Ahead of the Broncos one.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like the Raiders logo. Maybe we've underrated the Raiders logo, but I don't think it compares to the Raiders.
Okay. I think that's fair. I think there could be a few changes made to it that I think maybe like a cowboy. I would love like a couple of like a cowboy to turn up with like some shooting guns or something, or riding a horse with a lasso.
You want a pair of pistols on the logo?
I don't want a pair of pistols on the logo. I don't think that'd be quite PC, but you know, all of these logos are pretty PC, but none of them are really grabbing my, you know, none of them are really sexy so far, except for maybe the Sharks. To me, the Sharks one is sexy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a bit modern. I'll pay that. So the Dragons next. The St. George Illawarra Dragons. What do you reckon? I know you got strong opinions on this one.
Just think it needs to be changed in some way, like to give the club a bit of a revamp. It's just, it's the, I know it's the combination of the Illawarra Steelers and the Dragons, but we all refer to them as the Dragons, and I think I might be offending a few Steelers fans here, but I think we need to let the Steelers brand go. It's obviously from the merged club side. It just looks confusing. The dragon is really small compared to the knight. It doesn't make sense to me why that is. I don't. Last time, I don't know why the knight is black too. They don't wear black, so it's just a confusing logo, in my opinion.
Yeah, I hadn't looked at the Dragons logo much. I sort of just watch Zach Lomax and Ravalawa when they're on. But yeah, I mean, if you're a Steelers fan and you can explain this night situation, or you just want to abuse Miles, feel free to
hit me up in the
drop
comments.
a comment. Yeah. I think it's so. I love their jersey, right? They're sort of the red V situation. They're classic like that. They're iconic. You think of Gasnier and Matty Cooper and those sorts of guys. Jamie Soward, if you play fantasy.
That's the jersey though.
It is the jersey. That's what I'm saying. Like that is the jersey is iconic. When I just look at the logo, I feel nothing. It's not worse than the Tigers one though.
Oh, I think it is personally. I think it's Barnett's elbow worthy.
I just kind of like the Dragons, hey. So I'm finding it hard to do this to them. And I made a TikTok about the Dragons winning the spoon the other day. People weren't happy, so I'm a bit cautious about doing this right now. But
yeah.
All right, Barnett's elbow, but the Tigers goes down too. We agree?
That's fair. I think I was going to suggest that why don't we put the Tigers one down there too?
Right, and Dragons in the last. Yep.
Just get a revamp. Do something. Have some designs. Have a competition for it. I don't know.
Dragons are confusing. Very easy to draw though, and
exactly
to have icons
make
around.
Cool.
A bit of flame, or
If you look at the Catalans Dragons logo, it is cool.
Yeah.
In the Super League, go down a similar route.
All right. So next up, another beachy team in New South Wales, the Seagulls. You're going to guess what I'm saying, but this is a nice, detailed logo. It blows up nicely. It's got a lot going on. It's very noticeable and iconic. They've been very successful with this logo. I think it's pretty good. I'm not necessarily saying top tier.
I think maybe the bird is a little
iconic.
Yeah, the bird is a little confusing. Like if you didn't know what a sea eagle was, then you don't.
Who doesn't know what a sea
really know
what
it looks like? All I'm saying is it could be a hawk, could be a
falcon,
ball-tailed eagle. We don't have them in Australia, so that's
okay. But they're around Manly.
But have you seen
sitting on the beach?
Have you seen a sea eagle?
Not in Manly.
Well, we rebrand them to the Seagulls. How about that? The Manly Seagulls.
Isn't there a Seagulls team somewhere? I'm sure there is.
I think there is. I think there is actually.
They're not on this list. We've only got the Dolphins, Jets, Bears, Mounties, and Magpies. But look, we'll submit that one to Manly. Where do you have them in terms of rating?
I agree with you in the sense that it's not iconic, but it's good.
Behind the Cowboys?
Of course.
Behind the Broncos, maybe?
I think it's ahead of the Broncos. I'm starting to. I think it's ahead of the Broncos. I'm starting to really not like the yellow writing. The more that I look at it.
I'm glad I've ruined that for you. The glass shatters moment, right? All right. So next one, I'm going to be super unbiased about this. The 2022 premiers, the Eels. Going to be a real iconic logo after they win this one and the next one. Before we go into the logo, Dylan Brown's Dally M season. How's it looking?
After one good performance, it's looking all right.
Excellent performance. Robbed of the 3 points, by the way. Pappenhausen gets 3 in a loss.
In a losing team?
Yeah.
I don't agree with that, no.
Brownie was clutch as. In defense.
He was.
Yeah. Anyway, look,
really,
that's a robbery.
Carved him up.
Yeah. So if we take into account that injustice and maybe give those points to Para now, I'm just going to say things and you can just give me your reactions. Top tier.
No, I think it's iconic.
Fair play.
I think it goes around the Rabbitohs sort of area, but it's not top tier in my opinion. I just think that Para haven't won a comp for a while, but this was their logo the last time they did. So maybe, and they kind of stopped being a club that messed around with its logo a little bit. You had a couple there between 2000 and I think it was about 2015. You had a couple of different logos and nothing seemed to really stick. And I think Para fans were a bit outraged about it. But even the circle with the river and the obviously, if you don't know much about the history of Parramatta, eels makes no sense to you. But obviously, eels live in the river in Para River. So I think it's an iconic logo.
Yeah, I'll pay that. So, if we started here, I think the Bunnies is far more iconic.
It is, yeah.
The 05 Tigers are just... Yeah, if I was a Tigers fan, I'd watch those 05 highlights daily. They were just iconic. I'm probably thinking ahead of the Sharks. Behind the Tigers there.
I agree with that.
Yep. All right, we'll pay that. The Newcastle Knights, next up.
The Knights, I think they could have done something to maybe... I don't know, like give the town a bit something to, like, the Panthers are associated with an urban legend. I think, I
mean, the Knights have given the town something. Like, they've given the women of Newcastle Kalen Ponga.
I mean, when he plays, I'm not too sure he's available at the moment.
I'm sure he'll be back this week. Try and get him in our Supercoach draft at a steal.
Just
the logo
one
itself.
comment. Yeah, one comment I'd like to make about the Knights logo. The feather or whatever that is on the top of the head, it looks like toothpaste. And I think that's you've got to take marks off for that. I know.
Well, I mean, maybe they're talking about a clean performance. Maybe they value dental hygiene. I'm assuming they all wear mouth guards. A lot of the guys don't, but if you're the toothpaste Knights, then surely you are.
Yeah, the toothpaste Knights. It's all good.
So you're thinking low then for this one, are you?
I just think that little quiff on top of the helmet is just... once you see it, and you can't unsee it.
Yeah, no, I'm totally agreeing with you there. Like, I look at that, I don't think toothpaste. I think, those guys that are losing their hair, and this is a subject that's close to home, and they don't shave it, so they have that little tuft of hair on the front, and then they've lost it. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting from that. It's a little tuft on
and
top of
they've like gelled it. They've gelled it back.
Yeah. It's like you can't cover that much surface area, especially with a head like mine. There's no way. So it's a bit of a Ashley and Martin sort of Newcastle Knights kind of vibe I'm getting there.
It's cartoony and it just doesn't look very good. I think it's average.
Average? Yeah, I'll go average with that. All right, the Storm up next.
Melbourne Storm. I'm going to take the lead here. Just for a second, Longy. I think that the Melbourne Storm made a mistake in changing their logo. They changed it a couple of years ago, and they got rid of any inclusion of yellow in their logo, which, if you look at their jerseys most weeks, they wear yellow. They have yellow numbers. And I'm wondering why they went for grey. And like they've got a purple V now. Like they're trying to steal the V from people. I think that this Storm logo, how much cooler is that logo? It's just...
When we were talking about this, that was the logo I was thinking about. So I was reading with the Storm in top tier. But I agree with you. This one's... It's minimalistic. It probably looks better on corporate sort of clothes. Like a bomber jacket or that sort of thing. So I can see the appeal there. It's not vintage at all. So it can't be in the iconic category because it's just not iconic. So
it's like they took the old Storm logo and they sucked the life out of it, and then they said, "Here you go. Here's what's left." I just think that yellow gives it a really nice pop, and they've taken that away from me personally, and put in grey. And we all know that grey isn't the most exciting colour to everyone.
So are we saying this is an average logo? Because I don't think it's, it's not deserving of the old Barnet elbow, but
it's about as good as the Knights logo. So I'd say, yeah,
it's better than old Tufty over there. We'll put it there. We'll put it there with the Panthers. Very successful clubs. Average logos.
I know.
All right. So our last NRL team, one of my favorites, the Warriors. Here, interesting logo. I mean, you can lead on this one.
I love the Warrior shield that they have there. Very iconic to the New Zealand contingent. And I think a few years ago they actually had black and grey as their logo. And I think had they not gone with a green and a more vibrant blue, I would have had that old black and grey logo around the average tier. But the only thing holding this logo back is the way Warriors is written under the shield is embarrassing. It's like someone got the old Microsoft Word art out and curved the word and put it on their high school project. But other than that, I love the shield look with the face on it. It's fantastic.
I do just want to call you out quickly. Word art for your high school projects, eh? Probably explains the grades. You were still using word art in year 7.
Hey, yeah, the old projects. Yeah. You used to do assignments and that.
We did stop using word art. Most of us a bit earlier than that, but yeah. And I get what you're saying though. The S and the W are a bit stupid. I kind of love though.
Almost unreadable.
Yeah, but the more I look at this logo, it has such a Maori vibe.
Yeah,
and I just think that's when we look at New Zealand and their sort of sports culture. They integrate sort of Maori culture into sport with the haka and that kind of thing, and they do it a lot better than we do in Australia. So I kind of love that. Just looking at that, I don't know if it is for sure, but it probably is inspired by some genuine art as well, and some artists.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. So I agree. It's a really good logo. Are you saying top tier? Because I'm probably not leaning that.
I think
high.
I think it's good.
But on the good, I would say top of good. So
interesting.
Are you disagreeing?
I would have said above the Broncos, but not above Manly.
Okay. Well, I'm going to use my veto. Put a foot down.
That's okay. It's okay. All right, no worries.
Top of good, the Warriors. I would almost say iconic, but not enough history with it yet. So we've got some Resi's clubs. How'd you choose these ones?
So I picked out what is going to be the proposed Dolphins logo for next year, which I thought would be a good little rev up for them coming into the league. I've got the Newtown Jets, iconic club, been around for years, still a reserve grade side for the Sharks. The North Sydney Bears, reserve grade side for the Roosters. We have Mounties, which are now a reserve grade club for themselves because the Raiders have their own reserve grade side. And the Western Suburbs Magpies, and a lot of the other reserve grade sides just use their top tier team logo. So I thought we could add these in to spread the love around the league. And we've got the Dolphins there at the moment. So what do you actually think of this new this Dolphins logo to start with as a new club?
It kind of looks like it should have been left in the draft box to me. Dolphins are very active animals, and there's a lot you can do with a dolphin. And red is a nice color. Like, it's just so stagnant. It's like a stamp almost. There's no movement in it. And I mean, if looking at the other logos, like a tiger there, like the eel flows, the shark moves. That's actually how you do a aquatic animal. The warrior, the seagull, like a lot of these animals have a lot of movement. For a dolphin, I think you need to add a bit of that too. So
need to amp it up.
Yeah, but saying that, they do get the Great Raystone next year, who just won us a game on the weekend. So they get about 5 points for that, for me. Probably putting them in the average category?
I think it's average. Yeah, I just don't see. I'm interested to know what the decision was around red and white as the colours as well, because we're going to have 4 teams in the league now wearing red as one of their primary colours. We got the Knights, Dragons, Roosters, and now the Dolphins. I just think
red is tertiary though for a lot of them. Like the Dragons, they're white, usually primarily.
White and red.
Bunnies are pretty green. Knights are usually pretty blue or pretty white. Like if they went all red dominant, that would be pretty unique. Hey, just looking at our list here, I'm actually thinking a lot about this top tier before we jump into the Jets.
Yeah.
I want to pull the Rabbitohs and the Tigers into top tier.
I think the Rabbitohs and Tigers need to go up, yeah.
Yep. Vintage Tigers though, not this mess down here.
An absolute Barnett's elbow down there.
No, the 05, Paddy Richards in the corner Tigers. That's all right. Cool. We got them up there. Couldn't have the Chooks alone at the top. All right, sweet. So Jetty's next. Classic logo. This is a real American logo to me. Very New York kind of.
Yeah, it is basically the New York Jets logo minus the airplane. There's a jet in there somehow, but it's also blue. Jets though, fantastic club. If you ever need to go out to Henson Park to watch them play, recommend it. It's a good Saturday afternoon out. But I just think the Jets, they're one of those teams that I think needs to get back into the league somehow. They're such an iconic club. Tommy Rodonigus is big advocate for that club as well. I just think that it's such an iconic logo. I know it's probably not the best screenshot that I've got there of the logo, but I do think it's iconic, but it is also used elsewhere.
Yeah, no, I'll pay it. It's a nice logo. I don't know if I have it in the iconic section personally. I'm more thinking it's in that good category, maybe around the middle of that.
Fair.
Yeah. Did they have Will Chambers last year?
Yes, they did.
Yeah, so maybe average then. He's a gun. It's just Blues fan stuff. But I'm thinking like just behind Manly there.
I think it's good. Yeah, not iconic.
All right, let's go good then. Next one is the Bears. This is a sweet logo. Like this is nice. It's vintage. It's a thrift shop. You'd have something that has that logo on it. I've got this in the iconic category. Red and black is a nice set of colors too.
I would think it's top tier. Personally, I love the Bears logo. Yeah. No one else in the league uses the Bears as their insignia as well. Like it's just such a scary looking logo as well, and I love the red and black combination of colors as well.
Yeah, no, I'll pay that. I think
would love them to get back in the league.
Is where I'd put them.
I'd love them to get back into the league somehow. I'm not sure how they're going to do it.
I know how it works. So I mean, another Sydney team in North Sydney.
Yeah, it's tough. But I did hear rumours about them relocating to the Central Coast. They could have become the Central Coast Bears, which in essence makes no sense. But, to get that iconic Bears logo back in the league, I think it would be a good thing for rugby league.
Yeah, no, I'll pay that. If they play at Blue Tongue Stadium, then I'm a big fan. It's the best stadium in Australia to me. Like you got the beach view across the side, you got the palm trees. It's gorgeous. So, yep, Bears, top tier logo, iconic stadium. They're good. Mounties kind of looks like it should be printed out on a piece of paper and then handed to you, and then you sort of throw it in the bin, right?
Yeah, I just think it looks like they're handing out flyers to go to Mounties and put a bet on the pokies. But I just can't really see a way for Mounties to get in there at the moment. It's just what is it? What is a Mountie? A Mountie to me is like ribbon, a Canadian.
I think
it's a Canadian cult.
golden ribbon.
So I don't know. Right? I don't know what the thought was behind this. I'm pretty sure they're just going from the Mounties Group, which is quite a successful business group here in Sydney.
Yeah.
But I do think they could have done something to, if they're going to put them in the league with a logo, they could have done something better than this.
Yeah, at my Year 6 graduation, they made us do ribbon dancing. So we had ribbons and we would run down the sort of corridor and dance. And I've got PTSD from that. And this logo has given me horrible, horrible flashbacks. My ribbon was purple, so not too bad. I'm going the very bottom of Barnett's elbow.
I think it's fair. It's pretty Barnett's elbow for me.
Maybe Barnett's elbow and his knee. No, not into it. All right, Magpies. I was actually a Magpies fan until they merged when I was about 5 years old, and we met some para players at school. So this one's a bit nostalgic for me. I think it's a pretty good logo. I love the black and white in general. Like whenever I see them play Rezzies, they're very iconic, very distinguished. The conversation for them starts at the iconic category in my eyes.
I think, the Silvertails, Magpies can be freaking menacing as well. Like, you ever walked around during swooping season? It's not fun. But they'll get you. I think that, iconic is where it should be, if not even into top tier territory. But I do think that just the old regular black and white could use a bit of a revamp. I know it's been the club's colours for years and no one else uses black and white. But
No. The black and white is what gets it there. That's okay. If you threw in a splasher, I mean, what are you thinking? Like green or something?
No, I can't think of a splash of anything. It's just like, I just don't. Black and white. Like, there's a reason we moved away from black and white TV. All I'm gonna say.
It's a bit different.
It is a little bit.
No. I think the black and white is the strength. I think if you threw in, I can't think of a color, but if you threw in red or something like that, it would just be the Bears. If you threw in blue, it'd be a bit silly, like just the Dogs. The black and white is what gets them there, but I'm very happy to put them in top tier. They've been carrying the West Tigers franchise for a bit as well. So maybe just behind the Bears there.
Yeah, I think it goes behind the Bears. But again, another reserve grade side making it into our top tier.
Yeah, it's true. Well, I mean, our top tier is two foundation clubs. The old Tigers logo.
The old Tigers logo is the best logo ever.
It was good. I mean, that team was just so good. But yeah, so all right, the current clubs haven't been looked upon too favorably. But yeah, that's
the other thing we can say with the Tigers logo is that it reminds the club of better times. And now they've got a new logo to look at, and they just look at it and they go, what has that club achieved? Just a side point.
Well, not much this year. But yeah. So what we're taking from this then is the Dolphins need to spend the next 6 months thinking about this. The Knights need to just give up the fight, shave it all off.
Yep.
Panthers need to hire one artist, not two, for the next logo. But yeah, no, it's interesting. I mean, any last thoughts on any of these?
I'm quite happy with the list, the way it turned out. I think we've got all the clubs where they need to be, at least from our opinion. But, if people want to see us doing stuff like this in the future, we can do jerseys, we can do players even. We're open to anything. So, yeah, hit us up in the comments.
Yeah, no, let us know. We've got a lot of opinions, so happy to share them. Anyway, we'll sign off. But everyone, obviously include para in your tips and your multis. I think they're best in the Dragons this week, so sure money. And we'll see you next time.